everyone, it's Lorelai, and welcome to another rpgmaker with tutorial. In the last video, we designed and playtested our final boss. In this episode, we are going to make the final cutscenes complete with the boss battle and bringing home the King's Crystal back to the castle. The first thing we're going to do is map a little room that you go into after you've opened up this gate. So let's go to the map list, and with Crystal Cave hovered over, that's going to be our parent map. We're going to go to create new map. I'm going to call this before boss. And this is just going to be a tiny little room for the player to refresh and get ready for the boss battle. Set the tile set to dungeon, and I'm going to keep the width and height the same. And the background music is actually going to continue on from the original Crystal Cave, unless we tell that background music to stop, which we don't need to do here. So I'm just gonna press OK and open up this map. And I'm going to quickly map out this room. Okay, so I made a small little room. The player comes in through here, and they'll be able to go down this little hole to get to where the final boss is. I'm going to add an event right here. That's going to be some magical crystal that restores their HP and MP. So let's make it this pretty blue one with step animation and fixed direction on. And on action button, we're going to show animation on the player, heal 1. And we're going to wait until the end. Then we're going to go to actors and recover all entire party. Then we can say something like, your health has been restored. And that's all we need here. They'll be able to spam this crystal as much as they want to get their health back. I revised Antidote so it also removes stun, which if you saw the last video, our boss does inflict stun sometimes. So I want to add a treasure chest here that gives another antidote, just to help the player out a little bit more. And then I would go ahead and make the event to transfer the player here, but we haven't made that map yet. We'll go to create new map. We'll call this map Boss Room, and we'll set the display name to the King's Crystal Corner. We'll set the tile set to Dungeon. I'll keep the width as it is, but for the height, we're going to increase it to, let's go with 30 for now, and we can always shrink it if we need to. Let's set the battle background to the same as it was in the Crystal Cave. Crystal and Crystal. And I'll go ahead and map this real quick. Okay, so here is our boss room. We come down this rope and walk over. I wanted to make it a one tile hall to get to the boss room so that we can put an event here on player touch that's going to start a cutscene. Let's go to events, and this is the room where the King's Crystal is going to be. I'm gonna go ahead and put a big shining crystal right here. Let's create a new event. We'll pick a nice crystal picture for it. Now this is the King's Crystal. Let's make it this red one. And we'll make it a step animation with fixed direction on. And I'm just gonna call this Crystal. And naming this is gonna help us find it later if we need to. So when the player walks up here, we're gonna put an event right here, no image, with the trigger player touch. So when the player touches this, we're going to set a move route, set movement route. The player will edit the route. First, I want to change their move speed to just slightly slower. ×2 is good. And then we'll move up, move up, move up. Then what we can do is go to move, scroll map, and we'll scroll the map up by, I don't know how many, we'll have to play test this, but I'll say like 2, and then we'll wait until the end. So what's going to happen is our character is going to walk up, the map is going to scroll up by 2, and then we can show perhaps a balloon icon of an exclamation point above the player. Then, how about Lyra says something? There's the King's Crystal. But then Kael is a little suspicious. Let's put a balloon icon over him of silence, sort of thinking. We'll wait until the end here. And then he says, shouldn't something be guarding it? This isn't his first rodeo. Then how about we show that silence again? We'll copy that, paste it, and then a sound effect, a growl. The screen shakes. We're gonna turn off, wait until the end so that we can have an exclamation point balloon happen at the same time. Copy this, paste it, but then change it to an exclamation point. And then when that's over, we'll go to Scene Control, Battle Processing, and select the Stone Guardian Troop. After this, we don't want this event to happen a second or third time, so we're going to go to Game Progress, Control Self Switch A is on, and then we'll make a new event page with the condition that Self Switch A is on. So let's take a look at this cutscene. The player is going to move up a little bit. The map's going to scroll up to show the crystal that's there. The player is going to have an exclamation point, sort of like, hey, look, there's the crystal. In fact, I'm going to edit the scroll map to turn off, wait until the end, so that the balloon can happen at the same time as the map scrolling. Then Lyra is going to say, there's the king's crystal. The player, though, Kael, is a little suspicious, so he has a little silence balloon above him. And he says, shouldn't something be guarding it? Silence, and then a big growl. The screen shakes. The player is shocked. And then battle process. The final boss battle. Let's set our character's start position here and playtest this. The map will be tinted because we are coming from the crystal cave that has the map tint. So when we transfer here, it should automatically tint again. Let's go up here. We activated the event. We can scroll the map up just a little bit, maybe by 2 more, so we can see the king's crystal a little better. Shouldn't something be guarding it? And then Stone Guardian. All right, let's go back to the editor. Let's edit this event. We're going to edit the scroll map to go up 2 more. And I'm also going to copy this set movement route for the player. And I'm going to put the movement route underneath this show balloon silence. We're going to paste it here. And I'm going to turn the wait command off of this balloon. So Kael is going to ask, shouldn't something be guarding it? He's going to have silence while he's walking up again, 3 more steps. Then there's going to be the growl, the screen shake, and the exclamation point, and then the Stone Guardian. We also need to make an event for this rope. How about right here? It can be on action, and this will simply move, transfer, not to the boss room, but before the boss. It will be transferred, how about right in front of that little hole, with direction down. So that's how you can escape. If you don't want to fight the boss yet, you can go back up this rope. Let's go back to our map list to before boss. And we're going to add an event to this hole. It doesn't need an image. And on action button, how about we ask with the text descend, and we'll put that in the middle. Then we'll show choices, yes or no, again in the middle. And no will simply exit the event, while yes will transfer the player to the boss room. We'll go right here and say direction right. So let's playtest this real quick. We can go up, and I forgot that this actually counts as a ladder. So I'm actually going to switch to player touch instead of on action. So this event will be player touch. Let's also add a transfer here. This will also be player touch, and this will transfer the player to the crystal cave right in front of this door. Okay. Let's go back to the boss room, change this rope to player touch. And then we also have to go back to the dungeon and get this door to transfer to that new before boss room. How about right here? Now we can double check if all of this is working. Okay, we'll go up the rope. We're in the little room. Let's go down, descend, yes. Okay, let's go back up again. Let's leave this room. Good, and we won't be able to go back in because we technically haven't finished this puzzle yet. So let's go back to the editor, go back to the boss room, and now we can make the cutscene that happens upon winning that final boss battle. So after we win the boss battle, how about we approach the crystal and Lyra takes its power so that we can move that power back to the castle and put that power inside those other 2 crystals. So to make that cutscene, we're actually going to edit the same event that triggered the final boss. because after we've finished fighting the final boss, it's going to want to continue this actual event. So after battle process the Stone Guardian, we can start eventing here. So how about Lyra says something like, phew, we did it. Let's get that crystal. Then self switch A turns on. And so what we can do on self switch A is on trigger player touch, we can do the same thing that we did with the gold chest many videos ago, where we made it so that you had to get the gold from the chest before you could keep going. We're gonna do the same thing with this crystal. So on this same event that's in that one tile hallway, if the player tries to leave without having gotten that crystal, Lyra is going to say something like, we can't leave without the king's crystal. Then we'll set a movement route where the player moves up, how about 2 times, so they get away from that event. Which reminded me to go back to this event, go all the way to the bottom, and we need to return their movement speed back to normal after we slowed it down earlier. So we'll go to move, set movement route, edit route, change move speed, back to normal. And that's all. So this event is done. Next, we have to event the King's Crystal. So after the player has defeated the final boss, Lyra says, hey, we gotta go get that crystal. They can't leave without getting the crystal. So when they get to the crystal, on action, we're going to make it so that Kael and Lyra are standing right next to the crystal. Lyra does some sort of magic to get the crystal's power into her, and then they are going to be transferred to the castle to finish up the rest of the cutscene. So the tricky part here is positioning Lyra next to the crystal, because right now Lyra is just a party member that travels behind us. This is how I'm going to do it. We're going to first fade out the screen, under screen, fade out. Then we're going to go to character, change followers, and change that to off. That's going to remove Lyra from traveling behind us, even though she's still in our party. Then what we're going to do is flip a switch. We're going to call this switch Lyra at Crystal. And we are going to move our main character, how about on the right side of the crystal? And we are going to be facing left. After that, we will fade back in the screen and then continue the cutscene from here. But let's first add Lyra here. Let's make a new event. Under images, we're going to find Lyra's image and make sure she's facing right. And the condition on this event is going to be switch Lyra at Crystal. So this event is going to be invisible up until this switch, Lyra at Crystal, has turned on. That way, when we fade in, we'll see Kael on the right side of the crystal and Lyra on the left side of the crystal. In fact, I should go ahead and name Lyra so we know what we're working with. Okay, back to the cutscene. After we've faded in the screen, Lyra can say, let me gather its power. Then we're going to go to move, set movement route, and the target this time is going to be Lyra. Not this event and not player. This is going to be on Lyra. We're going to edit route and we're going to say step animation on. And this is going to go through those 3 frames of her stepping and it's just going to give her a little bit of movement. And we're going to wait, how about 2 seconds? We'll say 120 frames, and then we'll turn the step animation back off. So she's just going to do a little shuffle while standing in place, and then we're going to play an animation on her. Let's go to show animation, character, Lyra, and how about we do power up 1, wait until the end, and then we're going to shake the screen, turn off wait, because we're going to play another animation under character, show animation. This time, we're going to play it on this event, which is the crystal. And we're going to play the animation Fire 1, 2 and select wait until the end. After that animation finishes, I want to change the image of this crystal to be colorless, kind of like its red color has vanished, maybe gone into Lyra. So there's a few ways we can do that, but the way I'm gonna do it is go to self switch A to on, and then make a new event page with the condition that self switch A is on. And the image is going to be a colorless crystal. Let's go with this one, with the step animation and fixed direction. We can set the trigger to auto run so we can quickly say something like, I got it, let's go back to the castle. Then we'll turn everything back to normal. So we will first fade out the screen. We're going to control the switch Lyra at castle to off. That's going to remove Lyra from the left of the crystal. We're going to go back to character, change followers back to on, and I'm going to flip another switch and call this one Crystal Got. This switch is going to tell us that we got the crystal and we're finishing up the game. Which reminds me, we actually did make an item for this, didn't we? So we can go to party, change items, and then give them the actual King's Crystal that we made forever ago. Press OK. All right, Crystal Got is on. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and transfer the party to the castle so we don't have to walk through the dungeon again. So let's go to Move, Transfer Player, all the way up to Castle. And I'm going to go ahead and put us right here and press OK. And then finally, I'm going to control self switch, this time self switch B to on. And I'm going to make a new event page with the image of the colorless crystal. And this is if the player comes back to this room, they'll see a colorless crystal without any event details. Then down here, for this event, we're going to make a new event page with the condition Crystal Got. So that means when Crystal Got is on, they'll be able to walk over this event without anything happening. I am actually going to go down here and copy the battle process and then just remove it, just so we can test this cutscene. And we just have to remember to put that back in. So let's play and see how it looks. All right, let's go up here through this tiny little hallway. There's the King's Crystal. Shouldn't something be guarding it? Oh no! Okay, so the battle process was there. Then if we win, she'll say, woo, we did it. Let's get that crystal. Okay, so we can move. Can we go back? No, we can't leave without the King's Crystal. Then we go back. Okay, let's talk to the crystal. Fades out. There's Lyra on the left, and there we are on the right. She does a little shimmy, does some magic, and then there we go. The crystal turned colorless. She says, I got it. Let's go back to the castle. And it fades out. And we are back. We are back at the castle, but of course our introduction cutscene is auto-firing because we haven't technically turned that off yet for this test. Let me go back to event details and put back that battle processing before I forget. So I think everything looked pretty good. Now what we'll do is the cutscene at the castle. We'll go to the map list, go to our castle. Now that we're back at the castle, we can make the second cutscene. Kael is transferred here, and then we're going to fade in and just go straight into the action with Lyra over here, putting some power back into this crystal, and then she's going to go over here and put the power into this crystal. So let's put Lyra here, find her image, make sure she's facing right, set the condition to Crystal Got, because we don't want her to appear right at the beginning cutscene, we just want her to appear after we've gotten the crystal and been transferred here. And we can set the trigger to auto run. So once we are transferred here, this event will auto run. So we're going to first turn followers back off, and I'm going to move Kael with a move route. He's just going to turn left so he can watch Lyra do what she's doing. And then I think that's all we need to do. We can go ahead and fade back in the screen. And then I'm going to paste that movement we did before. So she's going to shimmy for 2 seconds. She's going to power up. The screen is going to shake. And then we need to show animation, but not on this event. We need to show it on event 18 and event 9. So let's go back to this one. Show animation fire 2 on event 18. Then I'm going to flip a switch. We're going to call it Crystal 1. And when Crystal 1 is on, this crystal is going to turn red. So let's add a new event page. Go to Images, pick the red sparkly crystal, with step animation and fixed direction, and then make sure the condition for this event page is crystal 1. Press OK. So now in this event, when crystal 1 turns on, that crystal is going to turn red. Then how about we show a balloon icon over this event, which is Lyra, and we're going to show a music note. Kind of like she's happy that she did that. Good for her. Then we're going to fade out the screen and do the same thing on the other side of the room. Let's move the player to turn right. So now he's looking to the right of the room. I want to set event location, this event. So this is kind of like a transfer of this event. We're going to move it over here. And the direction, she's going to be facing left now. And then she's going to do the same thing that she did here. So I'm going to go ahead and paste all that. And then again, fix this show animation to show it on event, I think it was 19. And I need to change these show animations so that it is on this event. And I forgot to fade back in the screen after everything has moved. So let's fade in the screen here. She's gonna shimmy, do her power up, the screen's gonna shake, fire 1 is gonna go off, so then we can flip another switch. This one called crystal 2, and then I will go to this crystal over here, add a new event page with the condition that crystal 2 is on, and then set the image to be that red crystal. And then how about we copy this music note balloon and put it at the bottom here as well. And that's it. We have powered up the 2 crystals. So now what we can do is fade out the screen. Let's turn our followers back on and then flip another switch. We'll call this one King Happy. And then we'll get rid of this event page by making a new one and setting the condition to King Happy. And then it is a completely blank event. So now, did we fade back in the screen? I don't think we did. Let's go back to this event. Go to event details, go all the way back to the bottom. We faded out, we brought our followers back. King Happy is on, and then we'll fade in the screen. Now one last cutscene event. I'm gonna put it right next to the king right here. It's going to be an auto run event with the condition that King Happy is on, and the king will say, "I'm impressed. Let all know you, Kael, are a true hero." Short and sweet. Let's flip one final switch and we'll call it Chapter 1 Done. And so this event does not keep auto firing. Let's make a new event page with the condition that Chapter 1 is done. And this will do nothing, stopping this event from continuing to auto fire. And press OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and playtest this entire game just so I can get to this final cutscene and see how it looks. Yes! Oh my gosh! Okay. Good job. We did it. And we got a whole bunch of stuff. And Kael is now level 5. Awesome. Phew, we did it. Let's get that crystal. All right, I'm gonna save to file 4. And we can't leave without the king's crystal. Let's go up to the crystal. Let me gather its power. Shimmy, power, fire. I got it. Let's go back to the castle. All right. Oh, we gotta turn off the tint because it's a little too dark in here. But we're good. We fixed that crystal. And we fixed that crystal. And I'm impressed. Oh, he should be facing upward. Let all know you, Kael, are a true hero. Okay. And then let's see if we can leave and then come back, I guess. Yeah, we gotta get rid of that tint. Everything good? Yep, everything's good. Oh, the king should probably say something too. Instead of, have you gotten the king's crystal yet? Okay, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Our game is basically done. What we need to do is go to the map list, boss room. I think it is the crystal that does the transfer. Let's go down to event details. Yep, all the way down here. And before we are transferred, let's go to screen, tint screen, all zeros. So back to normal and set the time to 1 frame. Okay, then go back to the castle and then we'll go to the king. I'm going to copy this event page and then paste it. And we got to set the condition to not gold got, but chapter 1 done. Then the king can say, I don't know, what should he say? How about something generic? You are a true hero. Thank you, king. And we are done. Wow! In the next and final episode, we will be uploading this finished game to the asset store. I'll see you then. Bye!